Freeman is always there.
You always on time, Amanda.
Always on time, Mr. Freeman.
Amanda has been a community health educator at Keystone First for over 15 years. She knows this community as well as the community knows her. As a local health plan, we don't only take care of members. For over 35 years, we have known them as neighbors, friends, and family. As Southeastern Pennsylvania's largest medical assistance managed care health plan, our roots run deep. Visit KeystoneFirstPA.com to learn how we can help you get care and stay well.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is Niall Jax, producer and production editor at Word Radio, and I'm here to share some important information for 2024 voters. Before casting your ballot, all voters need to be aware of the Pennsylvania General Assembly, which consists of the State Senate and the House of Representatives. Members of the Senate are elected every 4 years, and members of the House are elected every 2 years. Currently, the Assembly has 253 seats, 50 in the Senate and 203 in the House. Democrats hold a one-seat majority in the House, and Republicans hold the majority by 6 seats in the Senate. The General Assembly has a vital impact on the lives of Pennsylvania citizens, especially Philadelphians, as they consider and vote on proposals that may even become law. This includes changes in education, affordable housing, crime reduction, cleanliness, and more. Come out and vote in Pennsylvania's primary on April 23rd. To book this important date and find more 2024 election information, be sure to visit wordradio.com/2024vote. This is your word on democracy. Your vote matters. Our democracy matters. This public service announcement is brought to you by AARP.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people. Write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O. G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, progressive Black talk media on air and online at wordradio.com. Happy hump day to you, as so many of us like to say. I hope your week is coming along really well. I really do. Family, if you are joining us by way of socials, please let us know. Check in and share a comment or a few with Nick and I. You know, we love the love any way you care to share it. You can call us. You can comment on our socials. If you don't have the number, well, guess what? I'm going to give it to you. It is 215-634-8065 to give us a call, or to call us toll free. You can dial 1-866-361-0900. Like I said, you know, we love the love any way you care to share it. So a quick hello will do. We'll take it. We'll take it. In the meantime, I will share with you today's Black History 365 moment. Today's Black History 365 moment is about Melissa Ward. Melissa Ward is a United Airlines pilot, the first Black American female captain in commercial passenger aviation. According to Ebony Magazine, and her mother, Ann B. Ward, was one of the first 2 Black women to graduate from the Pritzker School of Medicine. I don't think I read that correctly. According to Ebony Magazine. And her mother, Ann B. Ward, was one of the first 2 Black women to graduate from the Pritzker School of Medicine. See, that's why punctuation is so key. Family, that is today's Black History 365 moment. I want to send a happy birthday to all of our love lights who are celebrating a birthday. Once again, happy belated to our very own Nile Jax, whose birthday was yesterday. We are sending celebratory love and hugs to all of you, each and every one of you. And I'm sending extra love and hugs on behalf of the entire tribe and village, your tribe and village, if you need it today, if your light is shining even the least bit dimly, okay? Just so that you know that you are not alone and that you've got support right here. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I have just 2 things I need to share with you before I introduce you to our phenomenal guest in this hour. The first of which is that 2024, I can't talk today, family. Listen, I need some extra love and hugs today. How about that? But let's start that over. The 2024 EcoFest Earth Day celebration is happening this Saturday, April 20th, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. at the historic Belmont Mansion, located at 2000 Belmont Mansion Drive. This special event features panel conversations on environmental justice, holistic healing, and environmental journalism. There will be a variety of workshops, including the Philadelphia Flower Market, a Black Farmers Demonstration, Soul Home Yoga, Black and Planted, and Akame Art with a demonstration on beautifying your recycle bin. I like that. There will be food, music by DJ G Flow, and so much more. Be there, family, on Saturday, April 20th at Belmont Mansion for a celebration of Earth Day, brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, Posigen, Philadelphia Water Department, Philadelphia Recycling, University City Science Center, and PICO. The second thing that I want to remind you about now, I have a question first. Do you want to hear from candidates for Philadelphia's Attorney General live and in person? Well, meet Word Radio at Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church on April 18th. That's right. We will broadcast live from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. To hear from the candidates and their visions for this critical role. Moderated by our beloved Andrea Lawful Sanders, this event will help you to make your decision before the April 23rd primary. Doors open at 6 p.m. You can attend in person at Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church, located at 2800 West Cheltenham Avenue, or you can listen live on Word Radio. That's tomorrow, Thursday, April 18th, from 7 until 9 p.m. Family, this is your word on democracy. Your vote matters. Our democracy matters. All right, family. I see some of you are checking in. I love it. I love it. I love it. Nasir, hey, brother Nasir. He's sending peace and blessings to the entire family. You know, we receive it and we send it back to you. Eric is checking in. Just Rick. He asks, how's everybody doing on this wonderful Wednesday? Just fine, thank you. Our beloved Malcolm is checking in as well. He shares that he is watching and listening from West Mount Airy. And look at that, my cousin Misty is checking in too. She's sending love to the family as well. Our other love light, Willie. Hey there, Willie. Willie Matthew Williams is checking in too. Love to see you all. Love. Family, let's get this party going. So our first guest in this hour is none other than Karen Slack Blackwell. If you don't know that name, you better write it down. You hear me? Okay, Karen Slack Blackwell is a singer. I hate to say that because she's more than that. She's a singer, she's an actress, she's an entertainer, she's an advisor, but simply put, she's a Renaissance woman. Yes, she is. And she's someone whom I greatly admire. I truly do. A recipient of the 2022 Sphinx Medal of Excellence, Mrs. Slack Blackwell is a sought-after collaborator, curator, and artistic advisor, known for her fiery charisma and groundbreaking approach to engagement. Let me tell you something. All of that right there, you have no idea. I'm not even going to say anymore because I want you to meet her and I want you to join this conversation. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Karen Slack Blackwell. Hi there, beautiful.
Oh my God, Carol. Now, I have to say this now. You know, my daddy's going to be upset with you that you put my married name in there.
Well, let me take it out. Look, let me take it out. Right. This is Karen Slack. Family, this is Karen Slack. He sure is. Wait, it's a wonder he didn't call me already. Okay. It's a wonder he did.
You're one of his favorite people, so.
But you know, I love your dad. I love your dad. I do. And I love you. So family, let me just say, okay, when I met Karen, we met at Bright Hope Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget because you left an impression. You left such an impression. And I'm always so happy to see everything you post. You know, I follow all of your life, all of it. I said, oh, I feel like I'm a stalker. I need to have her come on and talk with us because you and I haven't had a conversation in eons.
Yeah.
You know, just it's just life.
Yeah.
So it feels so good to have you here in this space and that I get to share you. So thank you.
Of course, when I got the email, I said, "Oh yes, I'm coming to talk to Carol." So and I too follow you too because I've always been a fan, you know, and Carol with the beautiful voice. I mean, I sing opera and classical music, but I always in my heart, you know, wish I could do all those runs and all those harmonies and all that, you know, beautiful singing that you do. So
with what you do, and you heard me say it because I said it first. I said, I admire her. I always have though, because you are truly anointed. And I know everybody tells you this. I know they have to because you are truly gifted and anointed. And I mean, listen, I don't have to say it. Family, let me share something with you, okay? Because this quote here sums up perfectly. Well, these two quotes sum up perfectly how I feel about this woman right here. The first of which is known for performances that ripped the audience's hearts out, okay? Courtesy of Opera News. Karen Slack is not only one of the nation's most celebrated sopranos, but a leading voice in changing and making spaces in classical music, courtesy of Triloquy. When I tell you it doesn't get any better than that, it doesn't. So first of all, thank you for being a trailblazer. Because that's who you are. That's who I see you as. That's who you've always been from day one.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a beacon to little black and brown girls. Thank you so much for giving even us good and grown black and brown girls, you know, a star to shoot for. So thank you for that. Thank you.
It's
So
my honor. It's my honor.
look, I've talked so much. I haven't even asked you one question yet. That's because I'm so happy to see you, Karen. I'm so happy.
I get it. I'm happy to see you too.
So I'm curious to know, what was it? Well, I did share with our family that you are Philadelphia born and bred. I believe I did. And if I did not, charge that to my happiness family. But what was it that drew you to opera and classical music?
Mhm. Well, I always sang, always had a big voice, always had a very loud and very high voice, but never thinking opera or classical music would be my main, form of expression. I back in the day in the 80s, there was orchestras in every elementary school. As you remember, there's lots of music programs. And so I went to Dunbar Elementary School in North Philly, and I played the violin for about 4 months. I hated the violin. I said if someone had given me a cello, I think my life would have been different because it's the closest to the human voice is the cello. And anyway, like I was always doing dance, and I went to the R.W. Brown Community Center in North Philly, and I always did dance and music and acting and all those things because my father was a basketball coach, at the community center. So anyway, fast forward, I went to middle school, Baldy Middle School up in the Northeast in Philly. And my music teacher said, Karen, you have a beautiful voice. You need to take music seriously. But I never thought of a career in music because I always wanted to be a veterinarian.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. I never would have guessed that. I
Oh.
never.
Yep, always wanted to be a veterinarian. And so in the 8th grade, she twisted my arm to join the choir.
Okay.
Because I could match pitch, I was good at rhythm. Again, like if you had to take music classes, that was normal, in public school. And so I finally did, and she just was like, Karen, I'm serious. But growing up, my parents listened to, the Sounds of Philadelphia, Chaka Khan, all the, the OJs. Like I grew up with soul music and like, Black music. I didn't grow up with even in gospel because my parents didn't go to church until I was in my teens, because my parents kind of grew up in church, but how they raised me was very liberal and modern and kind of like, you'll find your way, you be a good person, which is not traditionally how many Black people grow up, right? Like in America. So like I was like a holiday. I would go to the church like a holiday Christian. I had to go with my grandmother to church for Easter and Christmas time, and my other grandmother was Jehovah's Witness. So I would go to the Kingdom Hall with her sometimes.
Mine too.
Yes. So like, I had a little bit of both, when I was. So, but anyway, like I said, I grew up with like my parents just like Sunday, when I grew up as an only child. It's my parents' only child. And so, Sundays was sitting around the table talking about current events, which shaped me now as an adult because, I'm able to, it really molded who I am, but music. So, yeah, in the 9th grade, well, in the 8th grade, my teacher convinced me to audition for the Performing Arts High School for Kappa. And I was like, fine, but I wanted to go to Saul because Saul had a veterinarian program.
Wow.
Yep. And so it was really, I got my little Whitney Houston song together, The Greatest Love of All. And auditioned with that at Kappa and got in on the spot. Mr. King was like, oh, this girl has a voice. And
yeah. I bet he did.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like growing up, especially when I speak with other creatives and you all talk about your experiences in school and the programs, the music programs. I did not have that luxury. I did not have a music no, I did not have a music program. I went to a very small school. So it sounds to me like that sounds like having those choices, because you were able to experience so many different things in the creative realm at such a young age. And quite honestly, it wasn't until I was reading somewhere about you, about the roles in which you had played, because I knew of a few. I knew of 2. I didn't know of the others. So now I'm hearing you say, so you had an interest in the arts, just like an overall interest in the arts.
Very, very much so. I danced up until I was maybe like 12 years old. And when I started developing a singer's body, I went to dance class one day. And I looked around and nobody looked like me. And I said, I'm out of here. I said, I am out of here. But again, it was molding me because as an opera singer, I'm on these big, large stages and you have to have lyricism in your body, and you have to have the connection to your body, particularly as an opera singer. I mean, we are heavyweights of all the vocal classes. You really have to fill out these seats that are 2,000 and 3,000 seats, theaters with no microphone over a 70-piece orchestra. That's a feat. That's a physical thing that you do. And so I did. I had acting and photography, which again, my parents were just trying to keep me busy. It was never with the intention to be an artist as a career. But when I found opera in the 9th grade, it just changed my life. I said, that is what I'm wanting to do, because I was a voice that sounded like mine, loud and high, and kind of, because I didn't have the gospel background, I never learned how to incorporate my chest voice into my head voice. So all I had was head voice. And so
that amazes me. I'm going to ask you if we could pause really quickly. I don't want to do so, but we have to take a short commercial break. Family, we are talking with Karen Slack in this hour. The phone lines are open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. But whatever you do, you don't want to miss this. So stay here, okay? Because we will be right back.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Staying active and healthy as we age starts with strong bones. To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Futures Without Guns is a free multimedia art exhibition on display April 18th through June 21st at 3675 Market Street in Philadelphia. The exhibition features artwork from 9 artists who envision the possibilities for a future free from gun violence and investigates gun violence as a health equity issue. Meet the artists at the opening reception on April 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. For more information on both the exhibition and opening reception, visit sciencecenter.org/FWG. Tune in to Eagle Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eagle Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with the phenomenal Karen Slack in this hour. I do want to share that I see some of our love lights are checking in. I see you. I see you. Our beloved Miss Lily is checking in, and she's sending love to everybody. Our other love light, Heather Wilson, is checking in as well. She too is sending love. And Eric, what are you saying, Eric? Are you clowning us? What are you saying? One of you queens or both need an eyeglass line rocking those. I know that's right. Wait, we could start one together. I like that, Eric. I
Carol
like
and
that.
Kiki. Carol and Kiki.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Okay. Stan, I see your comment. It is always a pleasure and a privilege seeing you. Eric has a question, I believe. Well, he shares, hello, Karen Slack. Big welcome to the WURD family. I've been fortunate enough to see Leontine Price and Jesse Norman perform here in Philadelphia many years ago. Were either of these two opera legends an inspiration in your journey?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, I remember once I found opera in high school because my high school teacher in the 9th grade loved opera. He played it, blasted it every morning at 7:45. And I was like, oh my God, what is this thing? You know, and my first light bulb was hearing Jesse Norman sing this famous aria called Isolde's Liebestod, her death song. And it was Jesse Norman singing. I was like, oh my God, with this woman, like this voice. And she really is my idol, my vocal idol. She is the one that I feel the most connected to. She has a trifecta career. She sang recital, concert, and opera. She sang so many roles all of the languages. You know, she became a curator, and she just really had this ginormous career, Miss Norman. So she is definitely my person. If someone says, "Who's your person?" Miss Jessie Norman is mine. She is my person. And then of course, Miss Price. Once I started, you know, just embracing opera and like going to the free library on the Parkway every day after school, listening to all of those old albums, you know, I found Leontine Price, and I begged my parents to buy my first CD was the Blue album of her singing Aida, the very famous Verdi's Aida, and I begged my parents. Back then, CDs were super expensive. And I said, please, you know, please. And so I just mimicked this. So they bought the CD for me. I still actually own it. And listened to it every day from the summer going into the 10th grade. I just mimicked the sound, and it changed my whole voice. Because every day I just listened and would just try to mimic Leontine. So those two women definitely, I mean, as a Black soprano, those are your, that is your road.
When I tell you, I mean, the comment that you made about you all, meaning you as an opera singer, as an, singing opera, a vocalist, you all are majestic in my very own opinion because of the things that you state, not simply just, but inclusive of the things that you stated, you know, what you're required to do, because listen, you don't fall short. This is it. This is the job. This is it. So I'm curious to know if you could talk with us about some of the disciplines of an opera singer.
Yes. Well, first of all, you have to have the gift, right? You have to
absolutely
have the sheer talent to be able to make a certain sound. Listen, sometimes our work ethic will outwork a gift of a specific type of voice, a special instrument, as we all know, no matter what genre you sing. But you must be able to retain all the languages, you know, the Italian, at least the Italian, German, French. There's the three core languages of vocal operatic singing. Memorization is key. You do those long opera nights, you know, especially the big roles, the title roles are very long. And so you have to memorize not only your part, but what everybody else is saying to you and about you when you're not on stage. You know, you have to fully immerse yourself in these roles. You must have the love and the passion, you know, for it, because it's too difficult not to do it as a career, you know, to sustain it.
Sure.
You have to have the idea that you're not going to ever be rich and famous, which for some people,
that's a creative.
Exactly. But opera's so glamorous, you know. People think that they see you. I say they see us as these cake toppers or the top of a Christmas tree, as this like angel, you know, because you do this majestic thing. But just like any other, you know, form of art, 50% of what you make doesn't belong to you, and you have to navigate all around all of those things. That's why I tell young singers, it's and also people who are spectators in what we do, and fans and supporters, and people who are watching us from the outside, to understand the sacrifice that goes into it. And they really, really are a student forever. But that's any vocal discipline. I know you dig into you have to know, Carol, as the artistry that you have and the artist that you are, you have to study
better.
And also, but ideally for classical singing, it's just you have to stay up on your vocal coaches, your voice lessons. You have to keep your body and your breath and all those things in shape, because you have to sing loud and high and long for long periods of time. But different from when you're on tour.
Oh, I know you, but because just like you said, we all see you as the cake toppers, because you are the cake topper. You are the angel at the top of the Christmas tree. So
I hear you. Yes, because it takes a special. You have to be born with the gift.
You do.
You
truly do.
Quality of instrument. Yeah, so I do understand, but I try to demystify. I always play myself that I know that I have Carol's known me for many years. When I was young, my parents joined church when I was about 15 or 16, because my mother had cancer. So my parents got really religious, spiritual.
Okay.
And that's where you saw when Donald Dumpson was my first music teacher, my second music teacher. And he would let me get up in church and sing arias. And, when I was like 15 years old and 16, just to have the opportunity to get up, and sing. But I always had my gift. I always had my sound, no one had to teach me how to make a sound. I just had to catch up with it.
I was so touched. So touched from that moment, because that is where my memory of you begins.
Yes.
At Bright Hope Baptist Church, hearing you sing, it was like nothing I had ever experienced. And to your point, it's so interesting when you were sharing about your childhood, so many things. My 5th grade teacher, he loved classical music, so he would play it for us. But no one liked it but me. So it was when I was listening to you, I said, oh, wow. And I too used to take dance. It just wasn't my ministry, but I had to, but listening to you talk about these things, it is, of so much interest. And then identifying where you belong. Once you know, I mean, that's when the magic begins. Once you know, because there's so much more that you see that that was not visible to you before. Once you identify it and you say, oh, that's it. That's me. That's who I am. I love that. So I'm curious to know, because I don't know of many young Black and brown artists, especially females, who are in the same genre. Do you come across many of us?
Everybody I know is Black in this industry. It's so funny, like,
really?
Girl, all my friends in this industry are Black opera singers or Black classical musicians.
Oh, that feels so good to know.
There are a lot of us. There are a lot of us out there, and we have to buck the idea that Black people don't like classical music or don't, we are there. We just don't get the opportunities, and we are there. Listen, Philadelphia has bred many: Marietta Simpson, Eric Owens, Ezekiah Savage, Leah Hawkins, who's young, coming out. No, she's not young, but she's her superstardom now. Kenneth Overton, and these are all just like off the top of my head, and then those before me. But like my whole circle are all Black opera singers who are having major careers, and it's unfortunate that. While again, like we're talking, like I put me on television, make me mainstream. Like there's nothing about my personality that says that it's not accessible. My gift is accessible, but we are kind of, pushed aside as it's another thing. But Black singers are out here doing extraordinary things for the industry, particularly after the BLM movement and the George Floyd, where classical institutions promise not to be racist anymore or promise to do all of these things. And so many of us had to step up and step into the moment. That's why I got all those soprano and titles to my career, not only because I can do those things, but I stepped into the moment to show the industry that I am like a real Renaissance artist. But we're there. We are there.
Well, I'm so happy to know that. And you know, when I'm listening to you name all of these individuals, and I'm thinking, what? Like, why don't I know that? Why isn't that known to us, you know, in our communities? So I'm happy to hear you say it so that I can repeat it and so that our family members here can also repeat it, because we need that. Listen, I say every day, we are phenomenal. We are phenomenal because I know it, I live it, I eat it, I sleep it, I breathe it, and I believe it. We are. So I'm so happy to know that we do have a presence, you know, in the opera world, and a bigger presence than that with which I was familiar. I'll say that because we've always had a presence, but it's bigger than I knew.
Bigger, yes.
Yes.
And in orchestras too. I mean, we don't have as big of a presence in orchestras because they're filled with white and Asian instrumentalists, but the talent is there. Like, it's incredible. Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly with I've had minimal experience with some of us in orchestras, but that you are absolutely right. The talent is there. Family, I see you. You are commenting, you are checking in, and I love it. And I'm so sorry. I've been enjoying my conversation with my sister. Cheryl Brown is checking in, and she's sending love to everybody. Our love light, Ms. Viola, hi there. She is checking in as well. Hi, Ms. Roslyn. It is so good to see you today, and to know that you are checking in with us. And I'm going to pray that our prayers last night worked and that you are no longer in the hospital. So happy to see you here today. Norm McGowan is checking in, and he shares that he's sending some love to everybody from West Philly. Motivation equals success. Hi there. And Malcolm shares, look, I agree with Eric. You go, ladies, with those glasses. I love it. I love it. Harry Wims is checking in as well. And Eric follows up to his comment earlier. He shares, seeing those two sing was a first time moving and unforgettable experience. Her Ave Maria, I love it. Aida is my favorite also. And Leontine Christmas. Thank you, great Uncle John. I love it. I love it. I love it. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You are tuned into Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with the one and the only Karen Slack in this hour. You can just see every tooth in my mouth, can't you? I know you can, because I feel like you can.
Mine too. I'm happy to be here. Yes.
I'm so happy to have you here. And there's so much I want to share. We're going to go to commercial in about 4 or 5 minutes, but I want to ask you about when you debuted in the role of Billy in the 2019, it was the world premiere, right? Of Terrence Blanchard's Fire, Shut Up in My Bones. Please talk with us about that. What was that like?
Wow. Well, Terrence is a very dear friend of mine. We're like family, you know. I was doing Champion, his other opera in San Francisco, and he came over to me, and I was so nervous because I just know him from the Spike Lee movies. Like, I knew him at the time from the soundtrack. His sound was the soundtrack of many of ours, you know, movie experience with Spike Lee. So I was very nervous, and he was like, "Come here, girl, give me a hug," you know. And so he was very, very like family. And, you know, he said, "I'm writing this new opera and I think I have a role for you." And so then he told me about Charles Billow's book, and I went to go read the book, and he told me, "I think Billy is a great role for you." And so, you know, most singers love a world premiere, a role that you can create, because you really get to set the tone for every other interpretation, you know. And so it was an honor. I mean, the cast was incredible, and, you know, the Met wanted to take it, and they, you know, subsequently did their own thing with casting and everything. And so I love Fire. I love Billy. She's a fiery, incredibly amazing woman, and she really is the heartbeat of even Charles. Everything centers around the relationship between him and his mother.
Mhm.
And he honors her greatly. And so we don't have a lot of roles like that in opera, unfortunately, like maybe in Broadway and other spaces. And so we need more roles like Billy. But anyway, Terrence is like family. He loves my dad and, my husband, and sometimes we'll spend Christmases together or Thanksgiving. And, it's amazing because, again, you have someone outside of opera. Now he's in opera, but at the time he had only written one opera, who saw me in a way that I think sometimes in my industry, I don't get seen. Like, yes, I have many triumphs and many accolades and all those things, but it is still incredibly difficult, being a Black woman and not really fitting into a box of what they think that we should be and the way we should sing. And all of it always been my own person. I had my own sound. And so he saw me fully for who I was. And so I would be grateful for him seeing me and writing that role. And
I love it. Nothing like being seen. Nothing like being seen.
Yes.
Family, stay with us. It's time for us to take just a short commercial break, but we are coming right back.
The Pennsylvania Lottery's $160 million cash blowout scratch-off will have you ready to step up your A game. A little birdie told me you could have a chance to win top prizes of $3 million. Pick up the Pennsylvania Lottery's $160 million cash blowout scratch-off for the ultimate hole-in-one. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Problem gambling? Helpline 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tune in this Saturday at 8 a.m. for Conversations with the Commissioners, hosted by Chairman Omar Sabir. Learn more about voting and how elections are run in Philadelphia by joining the conversation exclusively on Word Radio, Black Talk Media.
Neo-soul wasn't just a genre, it was a movement, and Philadelphia was the epicenter. Tune in Friday, April 19th at 4 p.m. for a special panel discussion on 90s neo-soul. This discussion was recorded at a recent conference organized by the International Association of the Study of Popular Music at Drexel University. This informative and entertaining conversation, moderated by Dr. Stanley Collins and featuring panelists Ivan Barrios, music producer for Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, and more, Eric Roberson, independent artist, writer, and producer, and me, Tiffany Bacon, former host and creator of the neo-soul focused show, Inner City. Don't miss our special broadcast of 90s neo-soul, Friday, April 19th at 4 p.m., only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of Progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with the phenomenal Karen Slack in this hour. Family, I see that you are continuing to check in, and I love it. Harry Wims is checking in. I love it. I love it. And Cheryl Brown shares, we are so happy to have you here, Mrs. Karen Slack. I love it. I love it. Eric shares, have you ever been referred to as a diva? So much is expected from an opera singer. They absolutely must blend with an orchestra, male and female, and command an audience's attention. And is diva still a complimentary term?
Yes, I have been called a diva. My friends call me diva. Well, some of my friends, it's a nickname. I take it as a term of endearment. Diva means divine. It is meant to the short version of divine, right? I fully embrace that, but in a way that, because I know what I do is outside of myself. I know what I do. I do from inside. You cannot touch it. You can't. It's not a thing. It's a thing that it is a gift that comes through me, right? And so yes, it is divine. So it's not me. It is the gift. That
Yes.
is right. It is.
Yes.
And so I do, and you know, and sidebar, I work hard. I've worked hard to get to where I am. I still feel like that 16-year-old girl from North Philly. My dad still lives in the neighborhood. You know, I'm still I'm in Delaware County, but I'm in Philly, and I'm very connected to who I am, my community, where I come from. But yeah, I am a diva in in all of the good sense. And when I'm not happy, right? You know, I've worked hard and other people around me have not. You may see the other side because I have done the work. And I expect people around me to do the work and come, you know. So yeah, I embrace every aspect of that as a 21st century opera singer. Yes.
I love that response. So, Karen, what I did not share is that you've also we've seen you on screen as well, movies. We've seen you on the stage, on the screen. What's next? What's next for you?
Well, more opera, more concerts. I'm making my New York Philharmonic debut May 8th, 9th, and 10th in Lincoln Center, which I'm very excited. Everyone's like, you haven't sung with the Phil yet, but I mean, I've sung at Carnegie, but I haven't sung, you know, it's such a weird career, So that's really what's next for me. I'm like I said, doing opera and concert and all that kind of stuff, and doing recitals. I curate my own. I created an evening called African Queens, which celebrates 7 African queens of antiquity, and it gets its premiere in Ravinia Music Festival. So I commissioned 7 composers to write 7 pieces that represent, and then I added some other songs by Black composers in an evening, a song. So hopefully it comes to Philadelphia in the next season or 2. I just took on a job as a dramaturg, which, you know, a creative consultant for AIDA, for another opera company. So that's another add to my portfolio. And you know what? You know, I would love to do movies. I was in For Color Girl. Some of you may have seen For Color Girl.
Yes.
12 years ago, that is my voice, and that is me, you know, mouthing the words to my own voice. So I would love to do more of those. And you know what, Carol, if I could rap, if I had 16 bars, I would do that. I'm a hip hop girl, you know. I'm an opera singer, yes, all those things. But you know, the room needs to call me, Jill needs to call me, y'all need to call me and be on the staff and take me on tour with y'all to do some of the high notes and stuff. Listen.
Oh my goodness!
Everyone will be in because everybody wants to be able to do all of the things. So
this is so true. That is so, you are a true creative, because we want to do everything, because
everything exhausted and tired, talking about, oh Lord, how to make this work, and then like saying, yeah, my husband says, you want say yes to one more thing. Yes.
But that's right. That's what, you know what, that's what drives us. That it fuels us. I know, well, I will not speak for you, but I know for me, especially if it's something that I've not done, something that I want to do that I've not done. What?
Yes.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd, what?
Exactly, because you know what? Then you'll go, well, what if? Or I had the opportunity, or, you know, I'd rather quote, I don't think of failure, right? I'd rather have not succeeded or done my best job than to be on the other side. They go, I wish I would have, you know, and there were certain things in my career that I've turned down because I felt like it wasn't the right time, or it was just things circumstances that I couldn't control, whatever. And some things I should have said yes to. I should have said yes to them, you know, but now I'm in the space where I'm like, I'm just going to do all the things, especially in classical music, when we so desperately need people to see us outside of our industry. I have to take opportunities to do other things so that I'm opening a door for people, not only just myself, but people like me, and, you know,
Agree.
Right?
Agree. Wait, our beloved Miss Rosalind shares, you could be anything you want to be.
Thank
know
you.
that. Okay. I'm going to go to the phone lines for a moment. One of our love lights is on the line to join the conversation. Hello there, and thank you for calling.
Hi, it's Viola. How are you?
Miss Viola, how are you?
I'm driving, and all of a sudden I realized who she was. I took Madeline Dunn. We went to hear her sing and the choirs at Tinley Temple.
Yes. Like 2 weeks ago.
And I was with the lady with a head full of white hair, and she wanted to know, were you from New York? Or she knew someone with the last name. And you said to us, oh, no, I'm from North Philly. And I said, oh, my gosh, that's the lady we heard. Well, let me tell you, Leontine Price was the first opera singer that I knew of that was Black. And a couple of months ago, I saw a rerun of Jesse Norman and Kathleen Battle from 1953. And who was in the audience sitting up in the balcony? Marian Anderson. I mean, that was a fantastic performance. And I just want to come to another opera because I will make sure I put you in my phone and look you up at different times. And I'm a driver, so I go anywhere. And
She sure does.
Far based on what I like. And, I usually have a friend that goes with me. If I don't, I come by myself. But I just want to commend you on listening to you sing that evening at Tinley Temple. We enjoyed it to the utmost.
Thank you. Thank you. That means so much to me. And I remember exactly who you are.
Oh my God. And some of the songs that the schools that you named, my nephew, Damon Bolden, he went to, because I don't know what age bracket you're in, but he went to Baldy.
Yes.
It was just amazing. I said, she went to Baldy. I said, who knows? I don't know. She might have been there when Damon was there. Damon was my nephew, and he was there, and, he came out of high school in 88. That's the best I can take.
No, he's a little bit older than me. So
okay, so I'm not sure, what age bracket, but it's okay. But you named so many familiar things that, as far as the fact of, coming out of North Philly. I was born and raised in North Philly, Germantown, whatever.
Yes.
And I was born at PGH, so Carol knows what PGH is. Philadelphia General Hospital that doesn't exist anymore. But when you said about your mom having the cancer, Carol knows my cancer story of 41 years. This past April 13th was 41-year breast cancer survivor for me. And all I'd say is to make sure you get your mammograms. And just because your mom had it doesn't mean you have to have it, because you got to keep stress out of your life. Because I got mine because I was stressed out when my mother passed away at the age of 33. That had nothing to do with it. But I'm so happy to know who you are now, because I kept listening to the name. And I recognize, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm home. And I said, I hope it's not a rerun. So I'm so happy to be able to say what I'm saying, and you can hear the enthusiasm in my voice. PBS, if you have something on PBS, I'll be sure to see you, because PBS is one of my favorite channels.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Miss Viola.
I love that. I remember her. Yes.
And Miss Viola, you be careful out there. Okay, driving and talking to it. You be careful. Listen, I love Miss Viola. I call her Waldo because Miss Viola does not sit still, and I love it. She's a woman after my own heart. She sure is. But thank you so much, and I so appreciate you showing love to my sister. I so appreciate it, because y'all see me. Y'all know I'm usually on 10, but I'm on 1,000 tonight. Like I said, I know you see every tooth in my mouth, because I'm sitting here. I have not stopped smiling. I'm just so glad that you came to spend some time with us, Karen. I'm glad that you were able to do so, because I know.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you were able to do so. It's just... Wait, Eric, what is Eric sharing? He says, I hear you, Karen. That's what I felt when I saw Jesse Leontine. Oh, and you too. Oh, it's a unique, melodious, God-given energy. I love that. I love that. I love that. And Ms. Rosalind shares, well, God is for you, so who could be against you?
Yes. Sometimes we forget that in the midst of all of the things. And, it's almost also focusing on the one bad review you get instead of the 10 of great ones you got. It's always the one thing. So, but no, Miss Viola, she her comments just carried me through, because right now I'm in a place where I'm like struggling with some things, and that's just made me remember, it's not about those things, it's about the other stuff. So we always need people to consistently pour into us, even no matter what the level of success.
Let me tell you something. Well, you got it right here. First of all, this is your entire tribe and village right here, and we're going to love up on you. So all you have to do is say, I need a little extra today, and we got it.
Yes,
we got it on a good day, but we got it every day. Okay, that's what we got. So I love you. I will continue to keep you in prayer. You're always in my heart, always in my spirit, and I'm going to continue to stalk you. And
you need to call me. We need to talk. We had so much to catch up on.
I know. That's a done deal. Say less, as they say. Say less. So please come back and visit with us again sometime soon.
Anytime. You got to come on my show too, Carol.
Oh, glad.
I had a Facebook Live show that I started during pandemic, and I
know Kiki's Combos.
Yes, and I was on and on.
I'm your stalker, girl. You know I know. It's Kiki's Combos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for those who don't know, it was a Facebook Live show every Thursday at 8, the Cosby Show hour. That's why I chose that hour, because it was so classic, and during pandemic, I interviewed all types of people in the opera industry, classical music, and, it's just amazing. But I always wanted to branch out into other things. So people don't know that I know all these amazing people, and we consistently need to be reminded of each other's stories as creatives,
Agreed. No, agreed. Absolutely agreed. Family, it's time for us to take another commercial break. Here I go again. I'm so caught up in my sister visiting. We have to say good night to her and see you soon to her, but she will be back soon. Family, stay with us because I'm coming right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60.
Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on The Source.
The minute you become an educator, you are now an officially a mandated reporter. So I don't care what privately happened in their home, the child reports you, and the child had to have been completely beside herself, knowing that this would cause all kinds of issues, that her mother was the superintendent of schools, and that her father was the mayor of Atlantic City. Who thinks about the child? We're so concerned about what the adults did or did not do. So let me tell you, parents who are thinking that these things are private matters. If a child reports to a teacher that they're being abused at home, that teacher, that principal, whoever's in that school are mandated reporters. They have to report what was said in school, whether you like it or not. So no, it's not private. It is not private. We have to find ways to protect children that we just have not done and haven't been doing.
And that's the hottest 60 seconds this week on The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Thinking about quitting tobacco? It's easier when you have help. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is ready with free coaching, medication, and more to help you quit for good. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW to get started. Or visit smokefreephilly.org to learn more about judgment-free support and free medications that triple your chance of success. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is free, it's confidential, and it works.
Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.media.
Want to hear from the candidates for Pennsylvania's Attorney General live and in person? Meet Word Radio at Edon Tabernacle Baptist Church East on April 18th. We'll be broadcasting live from 7 to 9 p.m. to hear the candidates and their vision for this critical role. Moderated by Andrea Lawful Sanders, this event will help you make your decision before the April 23rd primary. Doors open at 6 p.m. Attend in person at Edon Tabernacle Baptist Church, located at 2800 West Cheltenham Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19150. Chicago. Or listen live on Word Radio Thursday, April 18th at 7 p.m. This is your word on democracy. Your vote matters. Our democracy matters. This broadcast is brought to you by Always Best Care Team Green. Care from our family to yours. Tune in to Cafe Mocha every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Cafe Mocha is radio from a woman's perspective. Check out the flavor from the hosts, comedian and actress Lonnie Love, hip-hop legend Yo-Yo, and broadcast veteran Angelique Perrin as they bring their point of view to today's issues, social commentary, celebrity interviews, and self-help advice wrapped in a soundtrack of urban contemporary music. That's Cafe Mocha, Sundays at 8 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We are the home of Progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. Well, here we are. Here we are. So I was asking you last night what you thought and about topics that you wanted to discuss that we had not yet broached, and or topics that you wanted us to repeat. And our beloved Heather said she wanted to talk about real estate. And she wanted to talk about some tips for first-time home buyers and something, everything in that realm. So one of our love lights who visited with us just a short while ago has returned. On the night she first visited, she came, but we were having so many technical issues that tonight she is back with us. Her name is Arlene Wayns, and she is the broker and owner of Reliance Realty, which is an independent, minority-owned, full-service real estate firm founded in 2003. I am going to shut up and bring her into the room so we can get this conversation started. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than our love light, Arlene Wayns. Hello there, beautiful.
Hello, how are you? Good evening. Good evening. It's good to be with you again.
It is a pleasure. It is such a pleasure to have you back. I know we were having so many difficulties the first time you visited with us, and you shared so much, and so much good information, so much great information with us. So I'm glad that that you could come back to visit with us in hopes that we can learn some things again.
Oh,
tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is so much to learn and so much that we need to know about Black home ownership in America. We're in a very critical state right now with low Black home ownership, and we really need to increase that, and by all means necessary. It's critical. It really is. Today, I'm sure many of your listeners heard that the interest rates increased, and that kind of people kind of strange, felt okay. That means affordability is kind of moving away from home ownership every time we see those interest rates increase. About 0.23%. So we're in today's rate was 7.20.
That's high.
Yes. In comparison to where it was a couple years ago at 3%. Yes, that's
absolutely high. Yes.
But what we need to understand is that we talked about The last time you and I had this conversation, we talked about disparity in housing, the racial discrimination, how mortgage companies have been denying loans to Blacks. All of those things are barriers that keep us from home ownership. So I really want to talk about those things of how we overcome those barriers. Why I see that we're in this very critical stage right now. We have to understand the mortgage rates affect the mortgage payments. The higher the rate, the lower the amount that you will be able to afford. So people decide, well, you know what? I think I'll wait. And they want to move away from it, but I don't think that's a good idea. We are still in a critical point where white home ownership is higher. Hispanic and Asian home ownership rates have increased, but still lower than white home ownership. But Black home ownership is still the lowest in the country. We are still at the very bottom of that realm. In the state of Pennsylvania, Black home ownership is about 45%. So why is that? We think, well, 45%, but why are what we see is systemic racism? So we need to start talking about those hurdles that we need to overcome and start making some changes in our community by educating people and helping them to understand what they need to do. I don't think we should run away from it at all. I don't think that we should just look at home ownership as something that we can't obtain. It is an American dream that contributes to building Black wealth.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
No, that is the only means for most of us to gain wealth is through real estate and equity in our homes.
One of our family members is commenting. I love Light, Miss Rosalind. She shares the interest rate that you shared is very high. She shares 3 years ago was only 3% when she was trying to buy her house. And she also shares that they don't want our money. You could come with money, you could have the right credit, and they still don't want your money. That's why she wasn't able to buy her house 2 years ago. She said it's sad, the discrimination that we face just by being Black.
Absolutely, it is. It's critical, but we have to fight back. Reliance Realty is, minority owned and operated. We are affiliated with the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is the premier association for Black real estate professionals. We've been in this organization has been in existence since 1947, promoting democracy in housing, fighting these issues, pushing back the barriers, and they have been successful in overcoming those barriers, facing the Congress and talking with politicians about making changes. We're not playing on an even playing field. The criteria for whites is different than it is for Blacks. We are faced with the challenges of credit scores. The algorithm is off for Blacks. And why? Unemployment, student loans, and circumstances and situations in our life is different. So we find that they are denying our loans at a much quicker rate. So what we have to do is continually fight, and we have to make some noise. We have to let our congressmen say, no, this is unacceptable. We need assistance. We need down payment assistance. We need help with all the programs that would help us to become homeowners.
So that's where we begin talking with we begin first, you shared, with having a healthy credit profile.
Absolutely. That's very important. Your credit score is very important. It's a part of it. It's a part of who you are. So just like you face your health issues, you need to face your credit score the same way. You need to check on it continually. What is my scores today? Every 30 days, just look at your credit scores, challenge those scores. If you see something that's not right, definitely question it and address it. It's not going away, but you got to continue to do that. A credit scores right now, what most people don't understand, that I think that they feel like they need 20% down payment. Well, that's not true. 20% down payment to purchase a home. There are programs like FHA with 3% down. There are some conventional loans where you can put 3% down or 5% down. We need to work with people who can definitely explain this to our community and find out about those programs, because that is the only vehicle for us, not the only, but the best for us to get into home ownership is through those federal programs like FHA or Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae backed loans. That is the way for us to start looking at those loans and challenge and work with people who are going to challenge the denials, challenge those things that say you're not qualified. But working on your credit is very important. We know that today, millennials are renting as opposed to buying. And it's so sad because the millennials and Gen X there's so much money going into renting. So they are not able to save. And they're looking towards saving the money to purchase a home. That is critical as well when we know that there are millennials that have the monies they can afford to purchase a home. They can afford to, but they're afraid to.
So would you say, well, I just want to go back to something that you touched on when you were talking about having money saved before purchasing a home. I know you said that that's not as critical because there are programs that are available, but if you were to save to purchase a home, what would you say would be a good amount to start with?
Well, the mortgage companies look at something what they call sweat equity. So they want to see how much of your money that you have to put into the, into the purchasing. You can create a regular saving plans with your bank, with your credit union. So I think the best practice is for someone to have a plan. It could be a year plan. It could be a 3 to 6 month plan. It could be a 2-year plan. But start setting up a payment plan to yourself. Pay yourself first. Absolutely pay yourself first. All you really need to do is set aside, if it's $50 to $100 or $500 a month, whatever you can afford to do, and say, I pay myself first. It's 5% going to me. 10% is going here, 15% is going here. And once you start the saving, you'll find that you begin to feel good about it because it's going to grow. It's going to present itself as you present yourself as someone who is responsible.
So is the consideration both the amount that you have saved and the duration of the time that you've been saving? Aren't they two considerations that are looked at when buying a home?
That's a good point. Yes, the amount, it should be in a bank. They're going to look for your savings in a bank. Interestingly enough, the mortgage companies and the banking industry, they study our patterns. They know what people do, particularly minorities, and not only Blacks, but Asians, Hispanics. They all have a different way of saving and approaching money. So FHA now allows what they may have called pocket money or mattress money, whatever. They know that some people in some cultures save money at home. So they may allow you up to $1,000, maybe I think it's $2,000 today of your own money. But let's talk about all of the ways that you can get funding monies for purchasing a house. Save.
Oh, before you do, I'm sorry. I just want to interject for one moment. One of our family members has commented. Eric shares, good evening, Mrs. Arlene Wayns Thomas. Welcome back. I currently live in Philadelphia, but I'm yearning to return to South New Jersey. Not far, just over the bridge in the 08077 area code. I'm a little leery because number one, the taxes are much higher in New Jersey. I'm in my 50s and my concern is houses are higher there and I'll be paying off a house until I'm 80 years old, maybe. So he shares, I'm a little scared. Is there anything? Is there any way around that?
Well, most mortgages are 30-year fixed loan. So the scary part about the taxes, yes, taxes may be higher in Jersey, and that is a determination in terms of your mortgage, what you will qualify for. So there are 4 parts to that mortgage payment. There's the taxes, insurance, principal, and interest. You will be paying more in interest in the beginning of your loan than you would be principal. Your taxes and insurance are pretty much stable. So 30-year fixed loan sounds scary because it is a long time, but you are a homeowner, you're building equity, you have a tax advantage, and therefore you are building wealth. So if you find out that you can afford the house that you're looking for in Jersey and make sure it is affordable, then I would certainly take that step and purchase that home. You will benefit and you're going to gain from being a homeowner. You're going to gain equity. And if you find that interest rates are lower in the next 2, 5 years, or even 10 years, if you're still in that property, you can refinance and take advantage of a lower interest rate. So you have a lot of advantages and opportunities to being a homeowner. So I would definitely take that in consideration, not be really scared about it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I'm sorry to have interjected, but I wanted to make sure Eric was able to be heard. So I'm sorry. You were saying to us.
Yes, and as someone mentioned in the chat, you always pass it down to your children. And this is generational wealth. Purchasing real estate helps to build wealth and generational wealth and passing it on to our family members. And that's important. So once you purchase a home, you want to make sure that you take care of that will or that trust to make sure that that home is passed on to whomever you so choose. Indeed. That's important. Well, I think what we want to let everyone know in the Black community that we need not be afraid to purchase. We need not be afraid of the interest rates. Do you know, we talked about a few years ago, interest rates at 3%, but I'm sure if you asked your parents or your grandparents, what was the interest rate when you bought a home? What do you expect to hear from them? 3 or 4%, maybe in the 40s or 50s. That's what the interest rates were. So when we seen this 3%, that was like a blessing. That was very low in comparison. Very low. But we have seen, have been in the business a long time, and I've seen double-digit interest rates. We made it work. We made it work, double-digit interest rates. And what I'm saying to our community, we can make it work. We've got to get in where we can fit in. We do not have to take, we are fearful. And in some cases, we don't trust everything that everyone tells us about this situation. But we do know that we are faced with the challenges of discrimination and racism, but we have to overcome those hurdles and get into this real estate industry. We have to get into owning real estate. Yes, there were double-digit where 80% of the loan was mortgaged and 20% of the loan was mortgaged, or there were different models and ways. There's buy downs, there's ARMs. So we are going to see these changes in our economy, and we just have to go with that until we can see or realize that we're gaining by having equity in our home.
Agreed. Family, hi there. I'm talking to you. If you have just joined us, welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Arlene Wayns Thomas in this hour, and we are talking all things real estate. I know you have a question. I know you have a few, quite honestly. I know you do. And guess what? we're here for you. She's here for you. I won't say we because I can't help you, but she's here for you to answer those questions. And I'm encouraging you to ask all of those questions. You can do so by calling us or typing your comment or question in the chat on our socials, and I'll do my best to read it aloud. But guess what? Even if you don't want, to be public, you can call, ask Nick the question, and he'll share it with us, and we'll answer it on the air for you. You can do that too. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can. But this is so important. It is a conversation that we need to have, and quite honestly, it's a conversation that we need to continue because there's so much. I know we as a people have a lot of fear when it comes to real estate, and and I think it's greatly due to the fact that there's so much that we don't know, but there are some of us who do know. Namely, Arlene Wayns Thomas, who is here to help us tonight. So you hear me? I'm encouraging you. I'm saying call. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a short commercial break, but I want you to know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. When we come back, I think I'm going to ask what some things are that we should be aware of before buying our first home, like some really important things that we need to know. So stay with us because we're coming right back.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a 4Word member with the annual membership price of just $90 or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a 4Word member, sign up, family member, or friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your 4Word membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership.
Every day, thousands of Comcast engineers and technologists like Oluseyi put people at the heart of everything they create.
Some of my favorite moments throughout my life are watching sports with my dad. Now I work at Comcast as part of the team that created our AI highlight technology, which uses AI to detect the major plays in a sports game.
And now, millions of sports fans will never miss a moment. Visit ComcastCorporation.com to learn more.
I want you to imagine for a moment you're in a hospital. You are the patient connected to an IV bag. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, endless pokes, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine experiencing all of these things and you're only a child. This is why Starlight exists, to bring happiness to hospitalized children through programs that help kids cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Programs like gaming, virtual reality headsets, toy deliveries, radio flyer wagons, and cozy hospital gowns are just a few of the ways Starlight eases a child's hospital stay. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
Neo-soul wasn't just a genre, it was a movement, and Philadelphia was the epicenter. Tune in Friday, April 19th at 4 p.m. for a special panel discussion on 90s neo-soul. This discussion was recorded at a recent conference organized by the International Association of the Study of Popular Music at Drexel University. This informative and entertaining conversation, moderated by Dr. Stanley Collins and featuring panelists Ivan Barrios, music producer for Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, and more, Eric Roberson, independent artist, writer, and producer, and me, Tiffany Bacon, former host and creator of the neo-soul focused show, Inner City. Don't miss our special broadcast of 90s Neo-Soul, Friday, April 19th at 4 p.m., only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
No, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love
Well, welcome back, family. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Arlene Wayns Thomas. We're talking about real estate, all things real estate. And before the commercial break, I was sharing that I was going to inquire about some important things that we need to be aware of before buying our first home. What would those things? What would some of those things be?
Well, let's start with affordability. You want to make sure that what's affordable to you. There is a formula used by the mortgage industry, and it's maybe no more than 30 or 35% of your monthly income towards your housing costs. And they look at your debt ratio, no more than 40% of your income towards your debt. So it's almost like looking at a pie in certain things. If you're paying 30 or 35% towards housing, then you have other income that you can live on. But if your higher debt is higher, so you want to look at that. If you have a high debt, like we have some clients, maybe the family, it's particularly the single and you own two cars with two car payments, and that's going to take away from what you can afford in terms of a house. So your debt's higher than your housing cost is lower. So you want to take a look at that carefully. You want to reduce your debt as much as possible to give you a higher amount to go towards housing. You want to think about where you want to live. That's important. Do you need to be close to your employment, children's schools, churches, medical, all those things that are important to you? You may decide to move to another state, city. You look at all of those things that are important to you. Some people just do not like to commute 60 minutes to get to work. And some people want to be closer. And then other people, particularly Philadelphia, has become ideal for millennials and Gen X who like the center city. It's expensive, but they're not really using their cars. They are walking everywhere. So location is key. Location is important. Affordability and location, and what amenities that are important to you. We want to figure those things out. But today we have this platform called social media. It's beautiful that you can look at homes and all kinds of price ranges. We can look at the HTD show. We get excited. We see all these beautiful homes and things we can do. That's great, but you still want to make sure you stay within your range of affordability. Then you want to take the time to shop for the right mortgage. We talked about high interest rates today. It's important that you shop for the right rate. Every mortgage company, every bank does not have what's for you. You've got to make sure it fits your needs. I have seen there are some programs for moderate income families. There's some programs we have utilized down payment assistance. We utilize our state programs. And people have been able to buy a home with little or no money.
That, you know what, to that point, I do have a question, but before I ask my question, one of our family members is on the phone lines and is waiting to join the conversation. Hi there, Willie. Thank you for calling and welcome to the conversation.
Well, you're very welcome. The program is very enlightening. To your question, what about pursuing foreclosed houses that are still owned and maintained by the bank and mortgage companies? Also, can she expound on the veterans' homes? There used to be programs, you very seldom you hear anything about the veterans' homes that were foreclosed on. They are also maintained using the taxpayers' money I must mention, and then resold. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so to answer your question about foreclosures, particularly, I think it's great if you go on, if you want to purchase a foreclosed home. Real estate investment. We're talking about home ownership. We're also talking about real estate investment. Buying foreclosed properties as your first, as a first-time home buyer or as an investor. Now, Reliance Realty is a certified HUD broker, meaning if you buy a HUD foreclosed property, you have to go through a HUD broker. The process is different. You are bidding on the property. It's like an auction, but it's like a silent auction. You view the property and then you make an offer. The foreclosed are what we call REOs, real estate owned, by the banks. They are not doing usually they're not doing any work. I mean, that you're going to be buying as is. So you got to be prepared to have the funds to do the renovations or put what you need into the home. They sometimes ask you to pay all the transfer tax or the certificate. So you got to be prepared for that. But that is an opportunity. And I agree that people should take on that opportunity to invest in real estate if you have an opportunity to purchase a foreclosure. Veterans, the VA foreclosures are like other bank foreclosures, HUD foreclosures, bank foreclosures. It's the same process. But the VA, if you're a veteran, people don't talk about the veteran can purchase a house with no money down. The VA programs should be utilized by those veterans, particularly first-time home buyer. You're saving a lot of money.
Wow. So I was unaware of that. I was so unaware of that. Our love light, I'm over here processing everything you're sharing. Ms. Rosalind is sharing. I thought it was your payback. You pay back the taxes and then you can buy it. I'm not sure to which scenario.
I'm sorry. She said she thought you pay back taxes and then you can buy it. If she's referring to foreclosures, no, you're not responsible for the taxes on the foreclosures. The bank takes care of any liens on the property. You're just purchasing the property at the price that you offer. So they take care of all the liens.
Okay. And Eric is sharing that he's spoken to several millennials about being a homeowner. Many of them prefer to rent because they want to go to school, travel, or chase a career for 10 years. Then when it doesn't pan out, they want a house. And they realize that they've spent thousands of dollars on rent, on cars, clothes, etc., when they could have mortgaged a home 10 years ago. There's truth to that.
Absolutely, that's true.
So much truth to that.
That is so true. I think the millennials need to understand what are the pros and cons of owning real estate. Okay, what are the pros and cons? Well, first of all, if you're going to rent every year, rent usually increases. How many millennials will say my rent went up another 5%, 3 to 5% each year? And they have no equity. They have no return on that investment because it's not investment. Some people say, rentals is the rich man's welfare check. Like he's getting paid every month, doesn't have to be there, and he just waits for the check. And you're not getting any return on that investment. So when you buy a home, you actually are building wealth because your mortgage payment is fixed for 30 years. So if you can afford $1,200 a month for a 1-bedroom, and you find out that you can buy a 3-bedroom house with a bath or 2 for another couple of $100 you're paying per month. But 5 years from now, you're still paying $1,200 or $1,500. 10 years from now, you're still paying $1,500. So you're building up equity and you have something that you can, in fact, become a well-rounded citizen. You have credit. You're worthy because you have an asset that you're building on. And I hear this, that millennials want to travel. Well, that's great. The very wealthy in America, and I'm sure you've heard about the billionaires, don't they own more than one home?
They do. And
Yes.
they do. Yes, they
Yes.
do.
Yes.
They do.
And there's nothing to say that you can own a home in Philadelphia, decide I'm going to, maybe you're relocating because of employment. You can sell that property. You can rent out that property. You could do a number of things with that asset that you have, and you can build on that asset in every city that you move to or decide to move in to in Philadelphia. I mean, in the United States, we have a lot of millennials that are going into Airbnbs, but they're paying the cost, but they're not owning them.
I have a question for you. Last month, we touched briefly on the President Biden's proposal about home buyers offering a tax credit for home buyers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Tax credit for?
It was for home buyers, for
Yes.
first-time home buyers. Now, was that a blanket proposal for all first-time home buyers, or what is the criteria for that? Is that for everybody? Would that be beneficial to us?
Well, there are many programs for first-time home buyers, particularly with help with the down payment. It's in Philadelphia, there's a program, it's called the First Front Door. And with the state, they have Keystone, different programs with the name Keystone to help with closing costs. It's possible that you can get anywhere from 10 almost up to 20,000 and help with closing costs in these programs. In terms of qualifying, it depends on, it's income based. And I think it's fairly reasonable that most people have been able to qualify for those programs. So definitely look into those programs. And that's one way of purchasing or help with closing costs and down payment. There are other ways. And this is why it's important to talk to people who know the programs, who know how to get you into a house. I'm going to talk to you about other means and ways of getting finance for a house. The biggest hurdle for those of us in the Black community is the down payment, the cost of purchasing, saving up those monies. Well, where else can I go? Where can I look to get fundings for? You can not only look at down payment assistance, you can also ask for seller's assistance. You can ask the seller to help you with the closing costs. And FHA allows them to give you up to 6%. Conventional maybe up to 3%. You can get a gift from your parents, from your siblings, from your fiance to help with the closing costs. You can go to your employer and look at your retirement plan. During the Clinton administration, it was allowed, you could take funds from your retirement or your 401k one time without penalty to buy a home, just once to buy a home. And therefore that you have those funds, save your money, but once you get your credit straight, those are the places that you can look for funding. And insurance policies have cash surrender value. So there are some other options to look for funding. The most important things, looking at affordability. First of all, credit. We've talked about how important that is. But look at all of the resources to get those funds to purchasing house. As I said, there have been times where we've gone into settlement and the buyer had maybe $500 out of pocket.
So we've talked about and thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. So we talk about assistance for first-time home buyers. Is there also are there also plans for assistance for those who may be interested in starting a real estate portfolio or buying for investment properties? Is there assistance in those cases as well?
Well, and that's a good question, because there are some programs. If you've been a homeowner prior to becoming, saying maybe 3, I think there are some programs that says you can be a first or second time home buyer for these programs. And particularly some people have gone through divorce or they had a foreclosure, they lost their home, and now they're purchasing again. So yes, for an investor, usually taking equity out of a property you own is the best way to continue building your portfolio.
You hear that, family? You hear that? You hear that? I know some of us had that question. Someone did text me to ask that question. So I'm glad to know that we are answering questions. Family, you are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking about real estate. We're talking about everything under the umbrella of real estate. So if you have a comment, a question, just something that you want to contribute to the conversation, don't hesitate to do so. You know you're always welcome to do so here. You can do so by calling. And for those who don't know the number, it is 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Again, feel free to share your comments, questions, or contributions on our socials as well. I see our love light, Miss Rosalind. She's sharing. Let's see. She's asking, do you know sometimes, my words don't come out right. She said she was talking about buying a home. Eric shares that he has friends who live in New York City, in Manhattan to be exact, in a 1-bedroom, paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Oh my goodness. With 2 to 3 roommates in some cases. Their first thought is to move out of the family house and rent an apartment. And there you have it. That makes no sense to me, but I mean, it all depends on what you want. What you want. Harry Wims is sharing that he loves this $1 million advice. Me too, Harry. Me too. That's why I'm listen. I am telling you, if you have a question, to ask it, because Arlene Wayns Thomas is the person to answer that question. We're going to take just a short commercial break, so you get just a few more minutes to think of a question to ask, but stay with us because we are coming right back.
Tune in to Cafe Mocha every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Cafe Mocha is radio from a woman's perspective. Check out the flavor from the hosts, comedian and actress Lonnie Love, hip-hop legend Yo-Yo, and broadcast veteran Angelique Perrin as they bring their point of view to today's issues, social commentary, celebrity interviews, and self-help advice wrapped in a soundtrack of urban contemporary music. That's Cafe Mocha, Sundays at 8 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Thinking about quitting tobacco? It's easier when you have help. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is ready with free coaching, medication, and more to help you quit for good. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW to get started. Or visit smokefreephilly.org to learn more about judgment-free support and free medications that triple your chance of success. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is free, it's confidential, and it works.
Hi, I'm Gary LaVox. One thing you know about me is I used to be the lead singer of Rascal Flatts. But what you might not know is I now use my voice to support paralyzed veterans of America. Did you know buses and trains are accessible, but airplanes aren't? It is why I support PVA. Today, PVA is fighting for accessible air travel, a basic civil right for our nation's disabled veterans and all people with disabilities. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. So join me in the fight for theirs at PVA.org.
The 2024 EcoFest Earth Day celebration is happening this Saturday, April 20th from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. at the historic Belmont Mansion, 2000 Belmont Mansion Drive. The event will feature panel conversations on environmental justice, holistic healing, and environmental journalism. You will also engage in a variety of workshops, including the Philadelphia Flower Market, Black Farmers Demonstration, Soul Home Yoga, Black and Planted, and Alchemy Art with a demonstration on beautifying your recycling bin. There will be food, music by DJ G Flow, and much more. Be there Saturday, April 20th at Belmont Mansion for a celebration of Earth Day. Brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, Posigen, Philadelphia Water Department, Philadelphia Recycling, University City Science Center, and PICO.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Arlene Wayns Thomas in this hour, and we're talking about real estate. I see that our Love Light, Ms. Rosalind, did leave a comment. She has a question. First, she responds to your comment, Eric. She shares that all of those people you're talking about in New York, that's why they're all moving to Philadelphia and we're overcrowded here now. But she has a question. She shares, Miss Thomas, once upon a time, you were able to rent to buy if you stayed in a property for a certain amount of time. Do those programs still exist?
The rent-to-own programs do exist among private owners and private, I guess, tenants, you would say. So if an owner offers that to you, and you may approach an owner and ask to set up a rent-to-own process. It can be daunting if you don't have any knowledge or experience. So I would highly recommend that you have a consultation with a real estate broker or a title company and a lawyer to draw up the agreement so that you make sure that you are in fact the actual owner of the home at the end of the agreement.
That's you know what? I remember seeing that a lot in the past. So that made sense to me. I'm going to ask, as I'm looking at the time, we have so little time left, and I know you have so much information to share with us. Is there anything that you would like to share with us in this moment that we have I'd say about 10 minutes before we close the program? Is there anything that you can share with us?
Well, what I like to share with you, just know and understand that we as a race have hurdles to overcome. They are challenges, and we must face those challenges. We are looking at a loss of wealth in our community and in our families, and we need to regain that. Look at the history of Black folks in Black Wall Street, Tulsa. They were trying to build wealth and build for us, and that was taken from us. We're in a critical position right now. You have to struggle and overcome as in any way possible. Start taking care of your credit. Start making a plan to purchase it, because they're not going to remove the barriers. We're going to have to move the barriers. And I noticed that there were some questions about inventory. And I say inventory, Philadelphia and all over the country, inventory is low. So that's challenging for us. Affordability is a challenge for us. So we have to fit in where we can get in. There are a lot of distressed properties, but we need to try to get them. Yes.
We have two questions before we close. Our Love Light, Dolores Davis asks, is a home equity line of credit good?
Oh, well, it depends on what you're using that credit for. A HELOC or a home line. If you're using that to renovate the current property you're in, you're increasing the value. So that's good. Or if you're reinvesting in real estate, that's very good. So I think it does help.
Our Love Light is on the phone. Diane, thank you for calling and welcome to the conversation. Diane, are you still there? We may have lost Diane. Eric shares, thank you so much, Ms. Thomas. You are a fountain of valuable knowledge. Please return again.
You are quite welcome. Thank you. If there are any other questions, you can always feel free to reach out to RelianceRealtyLLC.com. That's our website. You can actually log in, ask questions, or you can call us. Our phone number is 215-884-4006. There is a lot to learn.
I didn't get the number. Could you?
215-884-4006.
4006. And I'm going to share that in the chat. We have one more Love Light on the line. Hi there. Thank you so much for calling and welcome to the conversation.
Hello, beautiful Carol and Miss Thomas. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, doing so well, beautiful.
Thank you. Listen, I wanted to share this. So I became debt free last year.
Oh, God bless you.
Purchased our home in Mount Airy, right? And my husband is a veteran and I'm a veteran, but he used his veteran preference in order to get our home. But I was scared to death because I had a student loan plus other debt, right? Let me tell you what God did. He removed it.
I know
Don't
that's
tell me
right.
somebody else did it and it was no Biden. I never applied for no loan. That wasn't even out on the table yet. It was supernaturally cleared up. And so I said, you know what? Let me get me a credit card. What did I do? I got a credit card. I started using it and paying it off, using it and paying it off. And right now, to this day, my debt, my credit score is 750.
Yes.
All right. That is great.
I was not playing. Once I came out of it, I'm never going back. I'll tell you that. But you was right on, Miss Thomas. You are right on with everything you were saying today. I so appreciate you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. And all to my word family. Thank y'all all for listening.
Thank you, Cheryl. Oh my goodness, thank you. Well,
That's
I have to
awesome.
tell you, our family members are writing in the chat. Please come to visit again. And I've gotten 3 texts asking you to come visit again. So would you please visit with us again, because we are all in agreement
Absolutely.
that we need this knowledge, and we listen, we're doing better. I don't even say we want to do better. We're doing better.
We're doing
We are
better.
doing better.
Absolutely.
So we're all on this journey together. So would you please?
Yes, I was certainly because it's important to us to educate and inform each other. Knowledge is key.
It is. It is. It truly is. And you are a wealth of knowledge. So
Thank you.
we appreciate you for it. And you know what? Thank you again for coming back. Because the first time you were here, I was saying, no, wait, we need that. And you were sharing the info. So thank you for agreeing to come back and share with us again. And we are all looking forward to your return. So
thank you. It's my pleasure. It really is.
Good. Family, you heard it. She said she'll come back. I love it. So we'll have to have you back soon. Now, this is what I'm going to ask, family. I'm going to ask if you get your questions together. Get some questions together. Get some questions together for her to answer. Look, I'm going to put the email address. You can email them to loveandlife@wordradio.com. Email your questions to loveandlife. That's the word, not the ampersand. loveandlife@wordradio.com. We're going to schedule Ms. Arlene Wayns Thomas to come back to talk with us, and we'll dig deeper so we can all, build our real estate wealth. How about that? Look at that. Our love life. They're still asking, come back again. Please. You see
Okay.
She said she is
All
coming
right.
back. So, all right. Thank you so much. We will see you the next time, and we look forward to your return visit. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Be blessed.
You as well. Oh my goodness. Family. Here we are. Woo. Just praising God from whom all blessings flow. We've had a wonderful night, haven't we? Oh, I just love y'all so much. I'm going to ask that you pray for someone who does not yet know God. Pray for your loved ones. Pray for your enemies. Pray for those in need. Just pray, okay? Because we all need it, all right? I thank you. I thank our guests for sharing their time, their energy, their attention, their information, their spirits, and their space. And I thank you for doing the same. I thank you for contributing to the conversations. Special thanks to the entire Word family, especially Niall and Nick, for all that you both do. Happy birthday to all of our love lights who are celebrating, family. Remember, we are all in this together. So be good to you, but please be good to those around you, okay? Just know that I love you. I love you so much, but God loves you even more, all right? Please be careful as you go to and fro out there. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend. You and I will not see each other tomorrow. Remember that. Remember to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here with yours truly, Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I love y'all. You hear me? Y'all have a good night.